whilst it was a kind of a slow first year for us, which wasn't helped by what was going on in the world. I think we've built a lot of good foundations and a lot of good relationships, and we've had multiple internal reshuffles, but we're now in a position of strength, and we've got a new chairman in Kevin Cook, who has just retired from BDO as a senior audit partner, which has really helped with our fundraising because, again, age hasn't been on our side. We're in quite a grown-up sport, and people often tell us that and remind us of that. And so having those grey hairs and that experience, and I guess a level head kind of sitting at the top of the business, has helped the likes of Shawbrook and our other institutional lines to give us a go. So it's been good, but I think moving forward we're very excited.
You mentioned a little bit earlier about how age has acted as a little bit of a barrier for you guys, and just in your kind of entry into the bridging market. Why do you think this is? Obviously, you're both young, but why do you think this has been the case in this space particularly? I assume it might be to do with the fact that you haven't lent through the cycles, which is what many experienced lenders talk about as their expertise, and potentially kind of may look at it as being naive and to be young and heading into the lender. But how do you kind of mitigate those perceptions of yourself?
I guess there's two sides to that, really. There's the perception from our competitors, and then there's a perception from brokers at the same time. So I'll start off with the kind of our competitors. People who've been in this business for many years. They may have been lenders at banks, they may have been in the industry for 30, 40 years, and then they decide to set up a lender, and most of them are very successful. And when you have two guys that are, at the time, were 25, that decide to come to the market with Albatross, the market's obviously already it's heavily populated with lenders. I think some brokers have almost 200 on their panel. So there's a lot of competition out there. And when you come into a market like that, and Lewis and I, we try to bring, I guess, a bit of a light-hearted manner to business. We want to be fun to work with. I guess we do a few quirky little things on social media. And it does ruffle people's feathers a little bit. And they think, well, as you say, these guys haven't been through any of these life cycles, financial crisis.
Apart from launching in a pandemic.
Yeah, well, I guess that's, but yeah, people do look at us and think, well, these guys don't know what they're doing. How do they know what they're doing? But it's what we've built over 4 years, and the people around us, such as Kevin, that help us and guide us in the right direction. Our funding lines are very supportive with what we do, and I think they wouldn't provide us with the capital if they weren't confident in our abilities to do so. So from another lender's perspective, of course, two young guys coming into the market, people aren't going to like it, but hopefully there's enough business to go around. We're friends with a handful of lenders, and we've been taken in a really good way. A couple of weeks ago, we were out with the guys from Glenhawk, and it was actually really refreshing it was one of the first kind of face-to-face meetings we had. And it was nice to go out to the market and just see how receptive other people were, not even brokers, our competition. So I think that's been a good thing. And then if you look at it from a broker's perspective, and I can understand why brokers might be a bit skeptical about using us because we are young, how can you guarantee that we have the funding? We might just be putting stuff out there that maybe is false. As Lewis said earlier, brokers have long-standing relationships with their clients, and trust is a big factor in this business. If someone can't trust that we can deliver, then they can't risk jeopardizing their relationship just to try us out. So bringing Shawbrook on was a big thing for us from, I guess, just passing the credit of a bank. I think there's a lot of people in this market that utilize Shawbrook as a funding partner. But for us, wasn't necessarily the amount of money they were giving us. It was more due to the credibility that it gave us to say, look, we are capable of being potentially a big player in this industry. And again, I think being 26 now, time's on our side. We don't have to rush anything. We can build the foundations and grow from there.